Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. So this listener says, I spoke to her and she has a boyfriend, so I keep it professional for now. So he said, he's working in a charity shop and there was a customer that he found attractive.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he
Okay.
spoke to her and she's taken.
That's fine.
But it has shot my confidence to almost none. I feel like I have embarrassed myself, even though the way she treats me is no different, and she generally is taken. It took a long time for me to pluck up the courage, and I'm not sure how I can get over that rejection. Do you guys think I'm looking too much into it, and what can I do to move forward? Yeah, she ain't lying to you, so what's the... You're swinging and a miss, isn't it?
You know, I was in a relationship for 8 years, and then I was single for the past 3 years. And one of the things that was tough to get used to is like, you just got to get used to rejection. It's actually really funny. My buddy Brad, and it's funny because I'm not sure if he told me about this as like a social thing or a general therapy thing, but for people who are sensitive to rejection, he said that there's a method to get more used to it, which is to start asking people for small things that you know that they can't give you, to get used to rejection and like work your way up. But I think with dating specifically, I also was, you know, I hated being rejected and I was very sensitive to it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start asking out women as soon as I'm interested so that there's the least amount of emotional investment before that happens for me. And so I just get used to it. So if I met a girl at a concert that was really cute and nice, and this actually happened. I went to go see Blink-182 last year and I had floor seats. And I saw there was a girl next to us and she was dancing and she was really pretty. And I said to her, I'm like, oh, how'd you get these seats? Because someone guest listed me. So I was interested how much money they were because the tickets were so expensive. So I was kind of like, that was my initial interest, to be honest. I was talking to her because I'm like, did you pay $700 to be here? But I said, I'm like, you're really cute. Like, would you like to go out to dinner sometime? And she said, I have a boyfriend. And I said, oh, okay. And that was it. And it's fine. And it doesn't mean anything. I think that's honestly the best kind of rejection is when you ask someone out and they're just in a relationship, because you don't even get to the point where you would find out if they're interested or not interested. But even if someone is not interested, that's okay. Everybody's different. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Like if you're, you know, if you ask out a girl and you find out that she's just not really interested in that with you, that's fine. She's one person. It doesn't mean anything in terms of the grander scheme. Like, you can't expect that everybody would like to date you, right? No, so she's one of the people that wouldn't. The end. There are people that you wouldn't like to date. That's okay. So I think, especially in this case, she's not treating him differently. She's in a relationship. There's nothing to worry about. Here's your goal, buddy. Tomorrow, this week, ask out 3 different women. That's your goal. And by the end of the week, hopefully, maybe one of them goes on a date with you, but hopefully if you get rejected more, you'll get used to it and you'll realize this doesn't mean anything. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, especially in like today's society when the online dating is almost like a lottery pick, really. From what we get from the listeners and stuff. I've never done it because I've been in a relationship since fucking 2010.
I dated a ton over the past 3 years, and like only like 2 people came from dating apps, even though I went on dating apps all the time and swiped all the time.
Yeah. I think I won more on the lottery than I have on dates. Like, £2's a bit better. This makes me laugh when he says it like knocks his confidence, because I think to myself, there's so many people out there that have wanted to approach a woman and ask them out. Yeah, and he's gone and done it. So
that's a level of confidence.
Yeah, so well done for you, man. Like you wanted to do it and you did it. It took a long time. You still done it. So yeah, I mean, I take that as a win.
You know, I feel like he's embarrassed that he's expressed this interest and now he's around this person and she knows that. But I think about that because me and my buddy Brad talk about that a lot. And I've always had the stance of like, man, like adults date and are interested in finding the person they're with. So if you ask someone out and they're in a relationship and you go, oh, okay, and you just treat them normally, there's no way they're going to look at you as like a bad person for having an interest in them.
No.
It's like, we're all adults. We're all looking for someone. She knows that you're interested in somebody. If it's her, that's okay. And if you ask her out and she's in a relationship and you're fine with that and you just move on, she's going to respect you even more. But I'm sure she doesn't look at him as like, oh, I can't believe this guy was slightly romantically interested in me. Who cares? There's no negative to that.
No, exactly. And I think if anything, it's flattering for her.
Exactly. It's like, oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
And if the guy is nice to her afterwards, then he's a mature dude who's doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the fact that she's not treating him any different that goes to show that she's not thinking any differently.
Yep.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she just gets it all the time that it doesn't bother her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some get all the luck, you know what I mean? We'd love to hear from you, man, and we're glad you took that step. Just take it as a win and and keep it up.
I think go with what Chuck said. I think try with a few women this week or in the next couple of weeks.
I really challenge myself to be like, any girl I meet, even if it's for a few minutes, if I make someone laugh, if someone just shows me some kind of interest, just throw it out there and be like, hey, would you like to go out to dinner sometime? And and you'd be surprised at how often they're like, okay, man, you can go out to dinner with somebody and it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So try out and see, and email back in.
Mm-hmm.